Hey everybody, Dobie here with another Stratego game. And this game is going to be the first of my 25 game series against players at Stratego.com. Now I got my ELO to down to the 100 level, and I'm going to do what the mystery player did on YouTube. Play 25 games starting at a ELO 100 and see how far I can go by playing with the flag up front. So we'll see how our record goes. Let's get this game started. Now I'm playing a player who also has an ELO of 100, and you can see he has a lot of wins but a lot of losses. So this could be a family account where they let the little kids play and lose, but this person also has 100 ELO. So let's see how this game goes. Now I did make a big mistake here. I tried to do a new setup. I just moved pieces around haphazardly. I didn't really think this through. And that's always a danger, no matter how good you are, when you try out a new setup, things can go terribly wrong. I think that's why so many players create aliases, so many good players, because they want to try new setups and they know they're going to lose a lot of games before they know if they like a setup. It might take you quite a few games to get used to a setup, to see the flaws in your setup, and then you might not like it at all, or you might get used to it and get better and adapt to it, and then you might have to tweak it, but you'll lose a lot of games and that'll ruin your win-loss record. So I shouldn't have done this, but I figure, well, I'm only playing a 100 yellow player. How hard can it be? So I guess this is my setup with majors up front. I moved the bomb back on the right side, and I did move my Marshall up a little bit, so that's a little bit better. It probably should be here, but this isn't so bad. It's not so obvious here. Here it's probably would be more obvious. I'm still not sold that having the Marshall here next to the flag is the best spot. Because if you have it here and it gets found out right away, then I have to play a super aggressive game, and I'm not that good at doing that. So I'm just waiting for the guy here. I was going to speed it up. All right, here we go with the game. I'll try to be fast. This was a fairly quick game. It wasn't a long game. I'm trying to move up and cover my flag. So I didn't get cocky. I did go up and over. So now we try to create an illusion over here. I'm covering the bomb up. Don't want him to see the bomb. Okay. This game was played, I think, in March. So I forget exactly all my thoughts on this game, but this game was a disaster, really. And I think part of it was because trying out a new setup, and part of it was I couldn't get over how bad my start was. My start was just terrible. I'm already down 4 scouts and didn't find too much. Not a lot of information with those scouts. Now this piece came from over here, so usually when you play a low place player, this is usually a high piece here, like a general or a marshal. They like to hide their high pieces right behind the legs up front. And they really have to, because they have to be ready to defend lottoers. I shouldn't bring this major captain combo up. I didn't like this. This turned out to be a disaster. So I'm getting some smaller pieces. I didn't know what this was. Not sure why he didn't take me, but he does here. So that was bad play on my part. And now it's really bad. So now I'm down a major, and it's going to register 2 captains. And I shouldn't have hit this. I should have known this was a marshal. That was just dumb. Very bad play. So now the key when you're behind like this is you don't want to reveal your high pieces, and you have to remember where your opponent's high pieces are. At least I got the information. I have the marshal and I have the general. But the mistake I made is I forgot where the general went to. And then at the end of the game, I had to get desperate. Let's see how it goes. One thing to remember, the marshal, this is a very good stat, and this will help you win a lot of games. The marshal came from this side of the board, my left side. So this side of the board was where the marshal was at the start of the game. And usually 70% of the time, the flag is on the side where the marshal is. I think it's even higher with side marshal blitzers. But the average game, you should find around 70% of the time the flag is on the marshal side. So I should target these 5 spots. Now the goal I'm trying to do now, when you know where the marshal and general are located, you can attack with the colonel. And I want to try to find my opponent's colonels. So I should run up with my colonel and try to, basically you want to try to bleed him, get as many lower pieces as you can. I do have 2 lieutenants on him, and I do have a sergeant, but I'm down a scout. So I have to move up here and try to find his colonel. And so I should attack every piece that moves with my colonel. And then I might want to swap if I get enough pieces, or probably the best thing to do is after I get a couple pieces and see what he wants to swap with me. He wants to swap colonels because he's ahead. So when I see a piece that's not the general or the marshal coming towards me, that's probably his colonel. Then what I should have done is pulled my colonel back and brought out my other colonel and tried to entice his other colonel to come towards me, or to get more lower pieces, because he's going to keep on scouting my pieces because he doesn't know where my high pieces are. So that's how you win games like this. When you know where the high pieces are and they don't know where your high pieces are, he has to so I'm trying to get as many low pieces as you can. You want to get as many low pieces as you can, and then you want to keep on trying to bleed him. And you can see why he's a pretty bad player. He's letting me capture a lot of his pieces here. And see, that's fine. The first colonel was fine, but I should do it again with my colonel, my second colonel. And then what I should do is pull this colonel back. What I should have done is come up here, maybe find some pieces, more pieces with a minor and a sergeant, and then bring my colonel back up to get him to come with his colonel. And then I'd want to target his colonel with my marshal in general eventually. So I'm just trying to find good targets. I need to get some majors and captains. I need to, because I'm down a major and 2 captains, so I have to make that up. So I'm desperately trying to find targets for my general and for my marshal. The bad part in this game is I remembered where the marshal was, but I lost where the general was. And that's what really killed me in this game. Besides the switching my setup at the start of the game, trying to do a new setup on the fly. You really never want to do that. See, he probably knows this is my colonel or marshal or general. I wish I had my scouts in better position here to check some of these pieces. But that's a huge advantage you have when your high pieces are not revealed. You can bring up anything and he has to respect it. So then he's going to be afraid and he's going to throw his garbage pieces at it, trying to find out what it is. And then you can always pull it back and then start shuffling, and hopefully he'll forget where the piece goes. See, I only got a minor, so I should bring the colonel back instead of swapping here. I made a terrible mistake here. I should have brought the colonel back and swapped. Then you attack somewhere else in the middle, on the far side, do some shuffling, and the players will forget where it goes. Most players will. It's only the top players that really have a strong memory that can keep track on that. Especially if you attack on different sides of the board and you still have plenty of pieces. You can shuffle and try to confuse them. I like doing this tactic. I like bringing up a minor in the mid-game because a lot of times players, they'll just allow you to bring in a minor. They think it's a high piece. Since they don't know your high pieces, they'll allow you to bring up a minor to go right down to the second level and open up a flag triangle. You know, I like targeting this spot because this is the most popular spot for a flag, and it is on the marshal side, so this is a good spot to target. That was probably a little blunder. I should have taken that first. This was probably a major. And that was a mistake. I gambled there. I thought the flag was here, so I thought the bomb was here. That really cost me. But then I thought maybe, well, let's see if the flag is here. See, he's respecting this as the marshal. He doesn't know where my high pieces are. So let's see where we stand here. I'm down 2 majors and a captain. I'm up 3 lieutenants, up a sergeant, up a minor. So it's not looking too good. I could blow the first game in my mystery player series. The big mistake in this game is I lost where the general was. I thought this was a general. I totally forgot. And I should have worked my colonels better. I should have brought them forward and then pulled them back. Got some minor pieces, pulled them back, shuffled, and then you bring them up again. See, I think this was the general. See, this is where the general was coming up over here. And I'm coming over here not paying attention to this side. I do that a lot. So I'm hoping the flag's here. Did we win the game? No, we did not. Well, maybe it's here. Could be here. Not sure why I went that way. I should have went this way. I don't know why I did that. But anyway. Oh, maybe I thought the flag could be in the corner. I thought the flag was on this side, but see, this screwed me here now. I lost the general. So now it's very hard to make a comeback, and he has me pinned now. My marshal is pinned. He doesn't know it's my marshal, but he has me pinned. He has 2 majors on me and a captain, even though I'm going to get a captain here. It's not looking too good. So he brings his marshal up here, and this was a critical mistake on his part. So I'm thinking I'm going to win the game, maybe. The flag is here. Most popular spot for a flag. Oh, so disappointing. And, well, I figured go here. And, wow, I won with a lotto. So we had to beat a person. We had to beat the first person in our series with a lucky lotto with a marshal. Yeah, that's desperation. But my opponent really screwed up. You never want to let the marshal, if you have an open flag, you don't want to let a marshal or a high piece pass you. He should have never let that happen. He had plenty of pieces. He still had plenty of pieces to check me. But that's a problem with a lot of beginners, is that they don't want to waste pieces, or they don't want to sacrifice a piece for information. And you just can't let a marshal come in here when you have an open flag. And he still could have saved his flag if he would have just moved this piece out and moved the marshal down. He could have blocked me from getting the flag, and then he could have pinned me. So this was very poor decision on his part, which is, I guess, why he's in 100 level player. He just made a terrible mistake of coming out. Maybe he thought this was a major, but he still should have sacrificed this piece, moved it out of the way. You always want to play defense first. He should have put his marshal in position to block. Maybe he didn't think someone was going to lotto, but that's what you have to always worry about when you play any player. And in this case, he just made a terrible decision there. He should have stayed there. The mistake he made, he should have moved this over here, and then he should have moved down. And then he wouldn't have lost this game. He probably would have won. So that's always play defense first, especially if you have an open flag. And I think for all beginners, the biggest advice I can give you is, if you're 500, 600 or lower, ELO, bomb in your flag. Don't play with an open flag. It's just too dangerous. You're going to lose a lot of games you shouldn't lose. This player shouldn't have lost this game, but he did because he was careless with his he was careless defending his flag. Played defense first. So that was victory number 1 on our way. So 24 games to go. We'll see how our record goes with playing with the flag up front here or on this side. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.